Digitalization. How many of us are curious about digitalization right now? How can we take it into our practice? How can we work faster, more transparently with our patients? So this session is going to do just that for you. I would like to welcome our session presenter, Dr. Aditi Rajpure, founder and marketing consultant, Just Marketing Management, and a few words on her. She is a former clinical practitioner with extensive knowledge of clinic operations, marketing, and research in the medical aesthetic industry. With her expertise in service excellence and brand communication, she supports a coveted list of brands in the healthcare, wellness, and aesthetic markets. She understands the intricate details of running an effective practice, from marketing and patient engagement to customer experience. A deep understanding of customer behavior enables her to create powerful strategies for health practices, ensuring they remain competitive in a rapidly changing market. In her presentation, she will explain the concept of patient-centric care and why it matters most in aesthetic practice. She is also a part of our conference partner Clinishow, and I will give this over to her now. You have 30 minutes for your presentation.
Thank you. Check. Good afternoon, everyone. What a beautiful lineup of presentations today. This has been fabulous. I think all the speakers and everyone over here, give yourself a round of applause. This was just brilliant. I think it's so amazing. It's such a great congruence of art and science, and we are, making people's lives better. We are building confidence in their lives, right? And it makes you feel like you're doing something great, right? So it's unlike your mainstream healthcare, but today we'll focus on how we can digitalize everything. And you know what? Today's sessions have been so great, and it has really laid down the entire work for me, because everything that has been spoken about today, we need to put it somewhere, right? We need to record it. What are we going to do? Paperwork? How much paperwork can we build? And we are in Mumbai, or even otherwise, for the lack of space or for the lack of management, we need to digitalize things, right? So a quick little experiment with a show of hands. How many of you all are wearing an Apple Watch or a digital watch? I see a few, a Fitbit maybe, a fitness tracker. Don't be shy, raise your hands. So quite a few of you, right? And why do we do that? Why are we wearing an Apple Watch or a digital device? What is the purpose behind it? So basically, we are trying to monitor our health, or we are perhaps thinking of tracking our sleep, or we want to constantly be connected. I wear a fitness tracker. I don't wear a watch. I don't want to see my WhatsApp notifications all the time, but perhaps at times it's important. And the place that it takes in your life, in your personal life, it becomes a personal assistant, right? It makes your things better. Come on, let's agree. It's a bit of a nuisance, but it does more good than bad. So when we're bringing here's my watch, sorry. When we are bringing the digital aspect in our personal life, why should it not be as good in our professional life, where we are running these full-fledged, very, very complex businesses, right? Like aesthetics may seem easy or lucrative to people who want to get there, but it is not. And we've seen the chain of sessions today. There is business management, there is medico-legal, there is staff management, and then on top of that, you have to stay ahead of things when it comes to new technologies, new treatments, and then managing your patients, obviously, right? So that's why we are talking about digital transformation. Before I dive in, it feels very techy. And when you say data, you start imagining Excel sheets and pie charts and diagrams, and I don't want to deal with it. I don't know what this data is. My clinic manager will manage it, or let my finance guy or my accountant manage it. So what really is digital transformation? So whenever we are doing any of our operational activities, or we are transferring any of our products or services in a digital format so that it can be exchanged, it can be accessed easily, or it can be transferred to another system easily, then it's your digital transformation. There you go. Very, very simple, very easy peasy. And then when we speak of data, it's all the information, everything we have spoken about since morning. From business management, from your lead management, your marketing management, your performance of your staff, it needs to go somewhere. It's a set of information, and that is what your data is. So as soon as you feed it into a system, it becomes data. It becomes computable. It becomes readable. And then we can assess and come up with insights. And the third part is analytics. So this is where it gets a little expertise based, or you need to develop that skill set and liking both, right? Perhaps if you don't have the time, you could hire someone to do it for you, or you get the right kind of tools in your practice. So analytics is where we use very sophisticated tools, we use methodologies, we perhaps come up with techniques, and we take this raw data and we start understanding what is going on. You know, you start putting the data together and add 2 plus 2 and then come up with insights to make your business better. You start fine-tuning your business after that, right? So today's sessions were a little bit what's happening in your clinic. I'm going to draw you outside and let's look at the digital universe. Let's see what is happening in the world. And this is happening right now as we speak. So there is nothing that I'm showing you, we are forecasting 10 years down the line, this is how we are going to look at. So the entire digital universe, there's just so much. And if you were thinking that there is a core and we were to just divide it into 4 segments, I would think of it this way. So there is data processing, where existing data is there. Now it's put into a system and it's assessed. I'm sure practitioners over here would have heard of clinical decision support systems, right? So here is where you look at data to make your diagnosis more accurate. It is used by pharma companies. It is used into bigger public health segments, okay? We'll not get to details of that. We will focus on automation and we will focus on customer perspective, because that's what is the lowest hanging fruit. And that's something that is manageable. That's something you can start with, okay? So speaking of EHR and EMR, so EMR becomes what? Because now what all we discussed today? Patient record, consent, you know, what treatment was done, how many ml of toxin was delivered, was the post-instruction given or not, what was it? Very interesting what the lawyer said was, advocates mentioned, was you also need to give an alternative treatment. What was the alternative treatment you all actually spoke about? Are we recording all of that? No. Our basic EMR, that is electronic medical record systems, will do your BPRTP, right? Like blood pressure, temperature, and your basic history of presenting illness, little bit of clinical, you know, presentations, and you will just record those things. So that's enough for a basic practice. But aesthetics is way beyond it, right? We have diagnostics, we have our pharmacy, we have our own, we are launching our own products, we want to write down so many prescriptions, and we are prescribing from, or we're dispensing from our clinics. So now your pharmacy, your lab, your diagnostics all comes in picture, and it becomes bigger than that, and it becomes an electronic health record system. It's more extensive. And then finally the CRM, because we spoke about marketing, right? So all your medical data or clinical, so start visualizing your data this way. Entire patient's information or your client's information, medical information, treatment related becomes one segment, and then comes your marketing agency, which is like, you know, pain area for most doctors. They're struggling with your marketing manager or your agencies. That's the CRM part. That is the customer relationship management part. So you also need a tool that is going to put all of this information together. How many times did your front desk call? What happened? What happened after the follow-up? Patient got laser done. Next day, someone needs to check on them. Who will do the job? So every day, the first thing you wake up, you can't look at your child or look at your spouse and smile. You start thinking, I don't know if she has done the follow-up or not. I need to check on them. And this is endless. The day you stop doing it, it doesn't get done, right? And then how do you even streamline your entire operations then? So this is your entire CRM part, where how is your patient or your client engaging with your clinic, engaging with your team, and how things should be proceeded in terms of marketing, okay? So again, this is the second part. Now what's the challenge? And I'm sure all of you all are doing some kind of marketing activity. Social media, everyone? Instagram, Facebook, campaigns, anybody has run campaigns, paid campaigns? Yeah? And we know the challenges with targeting, you know, like how to, who is my client? I think Dr. Bhagyashree's presentation was really nice. Know your client. So it's not just clinically, but even beyond it. And this is important. It's inevitable. You have to get on the ride. You have to get onto this digital wave. The sooner you get on it, it's going to be less painful than procrastinating it further. That I don't know. This is not meant for me. I'm happy with my word of mouth. It works great for me. I'll get referrals. It is going to change. The reason being, your aging population is shifting, right? Now, your youngest Gen Z is 28 years old already. So they are going to be your patients, right? For us, they are going to be our patients. They are the ones with the paying capacity. The millennials like me are with the paying capacity and also aging. So we also want to look good. So you need to get onto these tools, and to get onto this, your data has to be spot on. You should have the palpability with your data and understand your data really well, okay? When I say data, it means your clinic information. Overwhelming? What are these? That's how many marketing tools are there in the market already. I think there are more. There is another template I saw where the icons are so tiny that you can't even see. That's how many marketing tools are there in the market. Which means what? Think of it interestingly. There are other institutes or other industries who are looking at data in a more better way than we are as a fraternity. Isn't it? So, no need to be afraid of this, or no need to, concern this as I need to know all of this. You just need to take care of what's happening in your clinic, okay? So, what I mean to say when I present this, and we'll go ahead and, present how you can implement things and what impact it will have on your practice. Digital is not the way to be, it's the only way to be. The sooner you get onto this, it's better, right? This is a special slide, and the timing couldn't be better. Tomorrow is voting day. I hope all of you all are voting. No propaganda here or promotions, but I really found this interesting, and I think I forgot to mention, I have had the opportunity to work in Dubai and in India. So I'm based out of both the places. And I did not know we are doing so well. I had an idea that the National Digital Health Mission is launched. Okay, it is the Niti Aayog, which is the tech brainchild of Government of India. And we are where? We are already at, look at this Ayushman Bharat health accounts, right? Almost 52 crore individual accounts are registered already. Isn't that amazing? We should take a bow, right? As a nation, we are huge. We have too much data. We have too much crowd. Everything is transient and constantly moving. But still, we have reached here. Now, why am I showing you this slide about mainstream healthcare? The idea is to just give you a reality check that everything around healthcare is going to change. The way pharma is working is going to change. Your medical devices, they're looking at data in a different way. So you need to catch up with it, right? So moving on. Now, this is where we can get a little interactive. So what is the impact on the medical aesthetics? We definitely understand that doing all this digitalization is going to have enhanced patient data management. So when I say enhanced, let me ask you all honestly, when you download a report of your patients or your clients, how does it look? Capital letters, small letters, numbers missing, somewhere some data is missing. Then the agency guy will be like, I can't deal with this. Madam, और एक हफ्ता लगेगा, data clean करना पड़ेगा. हुआ है? This has happened to everyone. I'm sure this happens, and it becomes an issue, and it consistently builds on, and then you just throw the papers in the air, right? So our data has to be enhanced, and the hygiene has to be set in right from the beginning, okay? So this should also be part of your training for your staff, not just doing peels or not just treating patients and how you can pamper them, but also whoever is doing your entry, your front desk, they need to be really managed well, and they should know that you need to be on enhanced data management, and you have to use the right kind of tools. Interoperability to collaborative care. If you have two branches, how are you going to manage the data? The patient goes to the other branch, he's standing there. The manager is like, wait karo aap. Like, and then they're figuring out what has been done. Maybe something has been conveyed on phone, but there is no complete clarity. The data should be transferable. In the same clinic also it happens, right? Madam is not there, or the main head aesthetician or doctor is not there. The next therapist or the next associate handles, they don't want to see them. Why? They are also equally skilled, they are also equally nice as people, but still, because it's not seamless, they are not getting the same experience. Again, they'll ask those same questions. Why that's happening? Because you didn't take down the data. You didn't measure and write down all these things for them, right? So another interesting case is, I think you mentioned about transferring to other practices, like you have a salon business, right? And you want to send to a dermat. So that's where this is going to play a huge role. You have things in place, it's transferable. That clinic or that clinic manager's responsibility is to ensure that everything is in check. What has been done? What are they coming in for? Make the entire journey for the patient super seamless, so that they feel comfortable and they feel confident in what you're doing. It's not like, oh my God, I'm just transferred somewhere, I don't know what's going to happen next, right? Standardization of protocols. Again, same, therapists, different practitioners in the same setup. Chemical peels. How many times to tell you, you need to cleanse properly, or you need to degrease this area properly, and they keep forgetting. And did you do this? Did you use the fan? Did you put the after care or sunscreen? You need to have a checklist. Easy peasy. You just need a checklist. You just need to keep everything in check and ensure that that is being followed. And on the basis of that, you can always review your team's performance. When you function in this way, and when you have very good records of your patients, it builds a lot of trust with the patient. Imagine I walk into any of your clinics or salons, and I'm your client for 3 years. You'll be like, oh great, you've been, आपके इतने sessions हो चुके हैं हमारे साथ में. Or, you know, it feels so nice because my service provider knows me so well, knows my needs so well. It has a huge impact, trust me. It has a huge impact. And especially in a populated nation like ours, you know, nobody has time. Most of the doctors, most of our resources are strained. They don't have time to give. So if they're coming to aesthetics to get something more, we should give them that something more, isn't it? Because anyways, they're gastroenterologists or they're gynec or whoever it is, they're just rushing them through. So aesthetics is it's a field of luxury. It's a field of making someone feel nice, enhancing their confidence. So we should be able to have the right tools, the data in place to be able to provide them with that. It's not hard, trust me, it is not hard. It's just that it should be in our mind, it should be in our being. If we put it in our being and we make habit of these things, then it becomes normal. Then you will not work without that data, right? And then finally, for your key outcome would be your market opportunities. When you have data in place, obviously I mentioned the targeting will be a lot better. How would you go about? What would you do? You said, oh, all these ideas are great, Dr. Aditi. Now what? How do we implement? What do we do? Where do we start? I don't know how to begin. I don't have trained staff. My front desk is not that great, good for nothing, almost. So first things first, it again, unfortunately or fortunately, comes down to you guys who are the business owners. Okay? So if you're a healthcare practitioner, whether you're a medico or not, or even for others, it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge because we always feel that I've studied so much. I spent like half of my life just trying to educate myself. Now I have to learn data. Why should I have to sit and learn data analytics? Why can't I just hire someone? But you need to know your data, no? You need to know what's going on in your clinic. You need to see what have you done in the last 2 years. Let me give you an example. It's summers right now. I'm sure nobody is doing peels. Not so much, right? Like nobody would do ablative treatments. Can you see data of last 2 years and check how many people actually came in for peels? Were there any clients who asked or requested? What were the other switch treatments that you did instead of peels? What rejuvenating treatments you can do? So that's the thought process that you need to have. Look at the bigger picture. Don't be focused on aaj kitna hua, right? Be focused on just daily sales report. You have to look at the bigger picture. So this is what data will allow you to. Unlearn to learn. So again, another challenge is when the staff comes in with, हम ऐसे ही करते थे. We used to do it this way in the previous place. I learned this. I don't know how to unlearn it. So they have to kind of be brought in new ideas with new ideas and explain them that this is important. And even for you, how will you make that time to look at data? If I ask you, can you pull out 1 hour every day to look at your, not every day, once a week? You'll be like, no, I'll see one more patient in that 1 hour. Why should I sit and spend time on an Excel sheet? But you need to kind of put in that work, and it gets easy. It gets easy. I'm speaking from a very personal space right now. See, I've been a clinician, and I've been challenged several times that, hey, you know, you guys don't understand your business. And I don't want any of the doctors to face that. Just like the advocates guarded you all, no? They gave all these tips that be aware of this, be aware of these things, be aware of, you know, keep things in mind that what you need to take into consideration with consent and treatments. The same way, I want you all to know that this is feasible, this is doable, okay? So try to learn how to look at data, okay? That will ease your operations. It's a very catch-22 situation. When you look at data, you have more insights, which means it makes all your things better. Otherwise, you're throwing darts in the dark, hoping something just works, right? Use the right kind of digital tools. Again, a big shout out to our conference partner. You should totally check out the product, have a demo, get ideas, you know, choose the product correctly. Do your research, check out other products in the market, see what is the right fit for your clinic, for your staff, what support you're getting from that tool. Do you want to have 10 different tools or 2 different tools? No, I'm not interested in this part. It's up to you. It's your choice how you want to run your show, but make sure that you choose the right kind of tool. Okay? Then personalize the patient's journey. So again, you can customize treatments. Is there anyone who's doing any specific protocols, which are your signature protocols here? Have you all built something on your own? Anybody who would like to share their secrets, clinic secrets? Nobody? So you can basically look at what age group you have, for instance, in your clinic, okay? And if you have most women coming in from the age group of 28 to 35 or 38, and they have a very typical hormonal pigmentation, now you know, you have looked at the data and you see, oh yeah, in this area with this regional influence, I'm seeing this kind of issues. And then you can start developing treatments, and then it just goes ahead and build a marketing campaign around it. Trust me, when you give this kind of input to your marketing team, they are going to do a fabulous job. But don't go to them just asking, "Arey, our leads leke aao yaar." There are no patients. The last time you sent patients weren't nice. They weren't good enough. They didn't have paying capacity. So you also need to give these insights, and that's only possible when you look at your data, when you have your data in place. Okay? Enhance the clinic environment. So again, this is a little bit of techie and optional for you, but there are digital kiosks, there are robotic, you know, kiosks also that you can have in your clinic if you are that kind of person who loves tech, and you can bring in those kind of things. But one special interesting thing I'd like to talk about is geotagging in marketing. So I've done this personally for the clinics I worked for. What we would do is in Dubai, we are located in a place where it's in Jumeirah, and there are hookah parlors around the place, hookah cafes. And we just targeted Lebanese audience from age group women from age group 28 to 45, and we would just geotag that. So whoever is entering in those cafes, they are seeing my clinic's ad. The same thing you can do for your clinics, for the perimeter. But that's only possible when you have a clear idea of what you want to do. So that's something you can do at a customized level. Okay? Staff retention. How do you measure staff performance? I think in the morning also, the first session, we were talking about how do you all measure, like, kitna sales hua, like how much did you, like how good your sales is. And the most expectation is You come on time, that's it, that's enough for me. You know, they don't show up on time, or they're not tidy, or they're not taking very good care of the stock. So you need to have a system where all this is there, where you can measure their metrics, you can measure their performance. Only then you can sit with them and have a very good discussion. Look, this is what you have done, this is where you are lacking. I cannot give you an appraisal. We need to look at how we can enhance your performance. So that makes you also very professional. And then they take you seriously. See, therapists is, you know, like they'll go here, then it doesn't work out, they go to the next clinic, and then they go to the next clinic. You should also come off as a very professional and a sound person, and you have it in control. So they take you seriously, right? And then finally, engaging with your patients. So what you can do at clinic level, what kind of WhatsApp campaigns you can do, how you can reach out to them, right? So just a couple of things that are easy. Website, no brainer. We all need a website, right? We need chatbots. So chatbots, because I think this is something I want every one of you all to consider. See, it's your choice because budgets and preference and knowledge of things, but chatbots are big in all the industries. So what is happening is, banking, you're getting chatbots, food, you're getting chatbots, all F&B, everywhere, except our industry. Why? Because we have not looked at what questions people are asking. Where is that information? It's on the phone, it's in your therapist's head. It's not recorded anywhere. So again, we need to kind of bring chatbots which you can add on your websites, you can add, perhaps you can, there are automation tools. Please reach out to me, I can explain you what tools, you can just have a look at those tools. Chatbots is something really cool, and it immediately answers the patient, you know, their concern. You can build great campaigns, whatever works for you. In some cases, WhatsApp, mostly in India, WhatsApp campaigns, but even email campaigns based on your consumer base or your customer base, how they are. Like for instance, clinics who are doing medical tourism. If you have a lot of international clients, they are okay with receiving emails. So you could run an email campaign. Trust me, it's free of cost, right? There's no money required. So that's why I said these are low-hanging fruits. So again, you can look into that. And then finally, a support system which is quick, which works, which answers their queries. And when you already take care of all the data, and it's a trend, if for 3 months you just record what kind of queries you're getting, by the 4th month you have a whole library of content. Now it's all repeat. It's doable. So again, you need a solid support system, and you need to figure out how you're responding to them, okay? I would like to ask you all in the audience that what are the things that you all are doing to support? Like, is it mostly calling the patients, or is it WhatsApp? Anybody? WhatsApp? Mostly WhatsApp. They respond to WhatsApp. Anybody who like gets every day has a SOP of, you know, first thing in the morning, reach the clinic and call all the patients from yesterday. Do you all do that? Yeah. So again, then calling works. Both these things work. So you need to see what works for you and your client base, and go ahead and run with it actually, right? So this is what it is, that just get the basic touch points of the entire journey where your patient is there, and then try to just grab those ones. So appointment booking, okay, rescheduling, once they are in there, you know, getting their details properly, enter them correctly, okay, and then just after they have left the clinic, what you can do. So look at those things as well, because you need to engage with your patient all the time. You need to kind of, they cannot stray away. You know how many Instagram ads go on, right? Like they will do one laser session here, and the next one they'll go to another clinic. So you need to kind of engage with them as well, okay? Now, this is my favorite slide. So you will be like, okay, great, all of this is good, and the patient journey will be great. But my patient doesn't expect a lot. They are okay with what we are doing, and we are making enough money. I'm getting enough patients with word of mouth. What's the future for all us practitioners? 15, 20, 25 years of practice, then we start swindling, you know, we start worrying. Now what? What am I going to do? Then you start looking for brand ambassadors. You want to launch one skincare brand, or you want to do something with a medical device, you want to get into research, mostly training again. So you need to build your royalty. And you are sitting on a gold mine already, right? Your data and everything you have done in your entire career span is what your royalty is, that data. Only if you record it. If 15 years have passed by and you don't know what kind of patients you have seen, then you've lost that opportunity. So you need to start. So here are the things that you could look at. And we all know this. It's not like there is anything that we aren't aware of, right? We know that we can get into medical education. We can harness the clinical data. Like just pick one or two things. Like just pick pigmentation, pick melasma. Basic 2-3 treatments or conditions you can pick, and you can start with that. Just collect data on that, and trust me, there will be a brand will be willing to pay you for appropriate data if you have. If you have even 3 years of data where you show I have done 100 patients, this is what I've done, I have before after pictures, this is what my inference is. There you go, that's your royalty against your service, against becoming a doctor, right? You could get into training, you could get into research, even skinceuticals, right? So a lot of brands are coming. And I think I have had a lot of debate on this because we feel so many brands are there already. It's become like so cluttered, this entire industry. L'Oreal is also selling hyaluronic filler. Some other random brand is also selling. The Dermat is also wanting to inject hyaluronic acid filler. Then now you have collagen powders. So what do we do? Trust me, it is still possible because we are a huge, huge nation. There is niche for everything. It is you guys who need to find your niche. There is ample opportunity. There is ample of opportunity. I can even forget the product. Just on the packaging also, if you notice that somebody doesn't like to dip their fingers in a jar of cream, that is also an insight. That is also an information, and on the basis of that, just on unique packaging, you can build a brand. And there will be people who will be willing to buy it. Okay? So these are the opportunities you need to think now. Everyone who's like, let's say 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in their work X, and start thinking about these things, that how can you move forward, right? So that's that. And then thought leadership. Very interesting. What do you think of how the consumer behavior is changing? You are entitled to your opinions. Put them out. Let the world see, right? So you can always have thought leadership. And we have seen that the brand relationships that mostly practitioners, dermatologists, or let's say even other faculties or plastic surgeons have, they become very transactional. We don't want that. When the doctor comes with an upper hand of, hey, I know this is what I've done in 25 years, here's my report. Now you have an upper hand in that relationship as a thought leader. You can draw so many things from that, right? So that's how you need to place yourself, okay? And then finally, your aesthetics consumer behavior analyst. That's who I am. So that's what I do. I see how brands interact with doctors, how doctors interact with patients, how patients interact with the home care. So you're inside this entire supply chain of aesthetics. You all are inside it already. All you have to do is look around yourself and build your brands. So this is very promising field right now. And not just within our nation, but from all over. And we know we are getting global. You can order anything that is in US or Europe. You can just order, place an order online, drop ship it. And so many brands are like wanting to enter the country. So that's your plan, and if you are able to put everything together, you can become a health tech brand. Okay? So that's my references, very short and sweet. If you have any questions on implementation, you can ask me. Thank you so much, you all are wonderful. I know all of you are hungry. We should network. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes. Don't hold your questions back because of me, but I was just going to say you have now a good 1 hour to ask her questions. She'll be joining us for lunch. And all of you, please join me too for lunch. And before that, thank you, Dr. Aditi, for this session. Very interesting, very new. First time at the Aesthetic Medicine India conference, so thank you so much for that. And if we enjoyed it, then let's thank her together. Yeah? Okay, so let me hurry this up fast because we all are hungry. I'm hungry too. Let's step for lunch. Quickly, let's take an hour, 2:40, requesting you all to please come back to this hall without me or my team having to call you all. So I will wait for you all here at 2:30. And by 2:40, please come and settle in so that we start with our sessions post-lunch. Thank you. Quickly, let's take an hour, 2:40, requesting you all to please come back to this hall without me or my team having to call you all. So I will wait for you all here at 2:30, and by 2:40, please come and settle in so that we start with our sessions post-lunch. Thank you.